Shabbat Shalom. This week, I'm going to share in a conversation with Meggie Odell. Meggie is a first-year rabbinical student at the Jewish Theological Seminary. She's also a person who has been part of the Anshe community in the past, and she's doing a internship with us over the course of the summer. This week, we read the portion of Korach. And in the book of Numbers, this portion focuses attention on a rebellion led by Korach against Moshe. And while Korach, in his rebellion, claims that all of Israel is holy and then challenges Moses as to why he and Aaron put themselves above the people, it's really a story about a community at war with itself, looking for its own identity. And Korach, the classic demagogue, is engaging that idea in a very negative way. In the end, Moshe wins out, and the ground opens up and swallows Korach and his cohorts. But the rabbis, in their midrash, look at this portion in a very interesting way. They say that Korach came to Moses and asked him a couple of what we would call klutzkashas, or questions without answers. For instance, he said, if I have a garment all of blue, do I have to put threads of blue, tzitziot, on the garment? Or, if I have a house that's full of Torah scrolls, do I need to put a mezuzah on the door? And when Moses said, yes, you have to put tzitziot on this blue garment, and yes, you would have to put mezuzot on the doors of a house, even if it was filled with Torah scrolls, Korach made a mockery of Moses, and I would say a mockery of God. Now, in this story, the ground opens up and swallows them up. But I think what the rabbis were concerned about were people in their age who were bringing a rational perspective to religion, and then cynically poking fun at it. In our age, the fastest growing cohort in the Jewish community are the nones, people who put not affiliated, or in the category of religion or religious affiliation, none. So I was wondering, Maggie, how do you respond to people who bring that rational edge, that rational view to Judaism, and with it kind of a cynical, hands-off approach to Jewish life?
Well, I think that the key word in what you said is the cynicism, like the cynical side of it. I think that you can bring a rational perspective to faith and to observance and to practice without it becoming cynical, without it being the kind of rebellion that Korach instigates.
Or backwards.
Right, exactly. I think that that as someone who's always considered myself a rational person, sometimes, while you don't have to take a leap of faith in something, you may have to take a leap of action. You may have to trust in the tradition of thousands of years and of the kinds of communities to which you want to belong. And sometimes it's, it is we do and we hear. Sometimes, just as at Mount Sinai, we have to do something before we can understand it.
So it's almost like you have to give yourself over, live as if this religion has a call on you, as if God is calling to you, and allow something to go beyond you, and that you have the opportunity to engage in something timeless and enter into, let's call it, a non-rational space.
Right.
And I think that Judaism welcomes that idea, doesn't it?
I think so. And I also think that, just as I was saying, that the cynicism isn't necessary, I think that on some level the rebellion is. Ours is a tradition that values that pushback. I mean, Yisrael is one who struggles with God, right?
Right.
And just as in the Parsha, we have the fire pans that are used to bring this incense as an offering to God.
And there's a test involved with Moshe.
Right. And Moshe says, let God do what God will do with the people who bring this incense, who are not, Moshe and Aaron. And what happens, right? I mean, the incense catches fire and it's touched by holy fire. Right, and the people who bring the incense are killed, but then those fire pans that were used for this, not idolatrous, but for an unsanctified or an unauthorized sort of use.
A challenge to the tradition.
Right, those fire pans, they're then hammered out and used as plating for the altar. So
the holiest place, you have the plating that came from those who were challenging the tradition, as if to say we shouldn't lose those questions, that we should bring our questions to the tradition and go forward.
And I'll say that I think it's equally significant that we're going to see in a little while in Numbers 26, it says the sons of Korach did not perish.
That's right. And in the book of Psalms, we see that the children of Korach, or the descendants of Korach, become the leaders in the temple in the song of praise of God.
Right.
So, in our generation, and as Moses' generation, we bring our questions, we don't shy away from them, but hopefully we can go forward together and each find our place within the Jewish community.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.